Iron Fist the show is decent overall, but I have a problem with the main character. And it's not because he's not Asian. Holy fuck. I'd like to point out you're gonna have another fucking stereotype.
Well, you know, I don't really believe in stereotypes. I think it ruins our culture. I think it ruins humanity in general. And when it comes to karate and martial arts and Asians, it's 100% true. We're born with it.
It's not like you had that already or anything. Nope. Nothing to see here. Nope.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Let's list the positive first, before you say I'm a DCEU fanatic or some shit. The pacing of the show is quite excellent. An argument could be made, of course, that the episode count could be lessened. I agree with that. But what I mean by pacing, there is this sense of escalation. He discovers that the company is tied to making drugs. He finds who the source is. He tries to rescue the daughter in a mini-boss battle.
Take on me. Take me on.
In the fight, he loses the drug maker. Iron Fist goes to Gao directly so he can stop her. Then eventually he confronts his inner demons and fights a final boss in a climactic tower battle. And some Netflix shows just zigzag that. The fight scenes here are bad. It's very guilty of the multiple cuts fight scene syndrome. A good fight scene is one where you see the flow of combat. You know how in the fighting game, you suddenly cut into your opponent's face when you do something? Exactly. You don't do it. You wouldn't understand the fight. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any cuts. What I'm saying is, why are there so many?
Like an American movie, you can see there's a lot of movement. When the camera angle movement, that means the actor, they don't know how to fight.
And it's frustrating because there are some fight scenes that are good.
I never move my camera. Always steady, wide angle. Let him see I jumping down, I do the flip, I do the fall.
When you shoot this way, everything looks more impressive because action and reaction are in the same frame.
It's easy to blame Finn Jones, but I would rather blame the team, not just him. He barely had enough time to train as it is.
They don't have enough time. Jackie is a perfectionist, willing to do as many takes as necessary to get it right. And in Hong Kong, he's supported by the studio, which gives him months to shoot a fight.
But in America, they don't allow you to do that. You know, because the money just poof.
See, in Daredevil, they had a stunt double to do some of the more difficult fights. They couldn't do that here because he doesn't have a mask. It's weird because it was listed that he has a stunt double. I guess the fight scenes needed to be more in your face, but you can't do that unless you have a mask on because you'd totally see the stunt double. The show actually had the chance to justify wearing a mask.
Better put that hood up.
Does it bother you?
What?
That everyone knows me now.
It doesn't bother you? Oh, that attention seems annoying.
Yeah, I got used to it as a kid.
Well, just watch yourself.
How so?
You've gone from homeless man to billionaire in a matter of days. All that money, press, power, makes you a target.
See, Danny, this was the perfect time to think, hey, maybe a hoodie isn't good enough. Maybe I should wear a mask. Maybe I should have thought of this better. Maybe. And in the first episode, he knew that masks can be useful. There was even a snippet of an old Iron Fist with a mask on. They might be playing up the naivete of Danny. It's gone to the point where it's past naivete and is stupid as fuck. Finn Jones just needs more time to cook. This fight scene is actually alright. By the time the defenders roll around, he'll be good to go. I've said some pretty bad shit about this thing, right? It's not all bad. The side characters are pretty great. Colleen Wing, aka Bae, aka Best Waifu, has a good character arc. She lied to her husbando. She's actually with the hand. It was neatly foreshadowed too. What the fuck kind of sensei trains her students to assault her in real life? She was also a fan of the good old hyperviolence. Kinda like some other hot girl who fights well.
Hello.
The culmination of her arc when she finally defeats her former sensei. It shows the I won't be like you development of her.
If we kill him, we're no better than them.
Ward had a great arc. I would even go so far as to say he has the best arc. From an unlikable prick.
You know what? You were a dick as a kid, and you're still a dick now.
You don't know anything about me.
You used to lock me in the freezer at the Rand cafeteria. At one of the company picnics, you put a dead frog in my sandwich.
To a prick with a heart of gold.
There are armed bodyguards posted outside the building.
I'll deal with it.
Great. The sooner we can get Dad locked up, the better.
Once again, good foreshadowing. His drug problems were a way of coping with his psychotic undead father.
I've destroyed everything that ever mattered to me. I'm sorry. I never meant it.
Bad touch! Bad touch!
I like that moment when you realize that he won't take shit anymore. When he was breaking down and simultaneously saying fuck you to the dad. That was great. Speaking of the dad, Harold was also pretty great. He's a totally evil fucker. No doubt, no doubt. But he's got layers. Some aspects of his philosophy, which can be boiled down to harden the fuck up, is nice. He's got a soft spot for his daughter and his assistant.
In all the time I've worked for you, I don't think I've ever seen you eat any dairy or sugar.
Well, I'm a new man, Kyle.
Is there any vanilla?
Madame Queen Bitch Gao is the best villain. It says something about the character and the skill of the actress when she's shitting on Danny's face about the notion of fair play, and you find yourself rooting for her.
Strike him down, the girl dies. Withdraw from the duel, and she'll be spared.
That's dishonorable.
What do I care for honor?
So when I see her sipping hot tea at the end and carving out some sort of victory, it makes me go, you go, Gao. Davos is, he's not offensive. He's Mordo 2.0. He's the former buddy that is disillusioned by the main character or what he stands for by the time the show is over. The best scenes I found with him was him lashing out against Danny on how irresponsible he is because he is.
One of the reasons to leave this city as quickly as possible.
We're not going anywhere.
Danny, the path will not remain open forever. If we miss it, it will be years before we can return.
They killed my parents, Davos.
What?
The Hand. They poisoned the pilots. They crashed my plane. They're the reason for all of this.
But you want it to be the Iron Fist, Danny.
I am the Iron Fist.
You knew what your duties would be and you don't get to decide what that means.
The hell it doesn't.
You don't belong here.
If I'm supposed to be the destroyer of the Hand, then I should be here, destroying them where they are.
But I'm not the Iron Fist. I wasn't chosen. You were. And you took it and run.
I didn't run.
You were gone, Danny. There one moment and nothing. You failed us. For what? What do you have to show for abandoning us?
Nigga, you just got roasted! Yeah!
Not all the side characters were good. Joy starts off being ambivalent about Danny, then hating him, then loving him, then hating him, then loving him, then hating him, then loving him.
Get on with it!
And at the end, she really wants to kill him.
He destroys everything he touches.
Things changed for me.
And you know that if you have any hope of returning to your old life, he must be removed.
Removed.
Killed. I can help you with that.
I'm listening.
To be fair to Joy, All she said was she'd listen. But it still doesn't make sense. I can understand why you would want to hate Danny if you see everything he does in the show. But the conflict she faced with her family is only kind of related to Danny. He got the ball rolling. That's what started this whole mess.
Please, will you help us?
I am so sorry. We'll make this right.
Samsung's heritage and commitment to innovation will not stop.
What an idiot.
But her current situation is not really Danny's fault in this case.
Settling would be a mistake.
I think you might be letting right and wrong interfere with what's best for the company, Ward. Bad publicity could cost us even more in the long run. Can we honestly take that kind of risk?
What's going on?
The board just held an emergency meeting about how you, your brother, and Danny will no longer be on the board.
I didn't ask to be the heir to your daddy issues.
Irony! You better get the hell out of here. I don't know what you're up to, but I can...
That escalated quickly.
And it's really strange that she never blames Danny throughout all of this.
Eddie always knew the right thing to do. Unlike you and me. Don't let them take it. Can't let them take it. So... Danny!
I can feel the hatred! In fact, she even discovered that Danny was being set up by her father and she rejects him at the end. Her desire to disconnect with her family is understandable, but her decision to suddenly go to kill Danny doesn't make sense. Claire is another offender. The desire to get stronger is something I appreciate in any person, but the power level is too strong. After a few sessions with Colleen, she can go toe-to-toe with the Hand.
I've never had a student progress as fast as you have.
Oh, she's gifted. Oh, nice, quick, convenient explanation, series. These are not some random thugs on the street, fam. They've been doing this their whole lives, right? So I could just train for a few weeks and be really gifted and that's it? Really? I like how she got her ass kicked, but she shouldn't have been there in the first place. Why not call Daredevil? He hates the Hand.
I just want you guys to know, I wish I'd never come to China with you.
It's annoying because I like how she's playing support and she's still good in that role. I guess it makes sense in a way. This universe really doesn't give a fuck about power levels. Danny had no problems with bodyguards earlier. Suddenly, he has a problem with this piece of shit that took 56 cuts to make into a convincing fight scene.
Power levels are bullshit!
Speaking of Danny, he is the worst offender. And he's the main character. He was written so badly. I don't think it's Finn Jones's fault either. He's got chemistry with Colleen. There are moments where he's great.
These childish insults are getting tiring.
Would you like to choose a weapon? I am the weapon.
In real life, he defended the show when everyone else was shitting all over him for diversity. I gotta give him points for that. But his character doesn't learn shit.
Frog in the well never understands the sea.
The problem with Danny is that he doesn't really change as a character. I think this stems from his stubbornness, naivete, and lack of empathy. These traits might be charming to a cute child side character, not the main hero. Naivete is nice at the start, but as I've said earlier, the longer that shit goes without the character learning anything, it gets grating. Stubbornness may also be good, but sometimes that shit don't fly.
I said empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
By lack of empathy, it's not that he's a sociopath. It's more of he fails to realize what the other person is feeling or conveying.
Don't be a jackass, Danny.
These three things can be seen in the second episode of a 3-episode arc, which should really be 2 episodes.
You need to let me out of here.
Well, it's either here or jail. But I have you for 72 hours, so I think we should make the most of it.
Suddenly I looked up and there were these two men standing above me. Chodak and Tashi.
And who were they?
Monks. Order of the Crane Mother.
Wow, monks. If you want out of here, you're gonna have to start being honest with me.
So there's the additional problem of not being able to use the fists.
I was trying to focus my chi so I could get myself out of here.
How'd it work?
It didn't. It's the drugs.
My God, I hate drugs.
Now, remember what Papa Bruce said? Here, the logical thing would be to play along until you can gather your chi and bust the fuck out of there. No.
I am Danny Rand. I don't care what you think.
What you say? You let it all anyway. What a question.
This shouldn't pay off, but it does. But then he blows that chance anyway.
I believe you're the real Danny Rand. Where have you been the last 15 years?
In Kunlun.
Kunlun, where is that?
It exists in another dimension.
Another dimension?
Yeah. It only appears on this earthly plane every 15 years, give or take, depending on the celestial tilt.
What an idiot.
So this is just the second episode, right? He's a noob from the mountains, raised by monks. So this is the only mistake he makes, right? It depends! He's told he shouldn't abuse his position as a majority stockholder. But then he does so, because it's the right thing to do, guys, right?
But, how many people die from, what is it?
Leash maniasis. If left untreated, latest numbers show roughly 50,000 a year.
And we have the cure. We can save lives at $5 a pill. You want to raise the price?
We know how to do this. The World Health Organization will make most of the purchases and subsidize it for third world countries. No one who needs this will be left untreated.
No one should make a profit off of the misery of others.
To be clear, Danny, are you, as majority shareholder, drawing a line in the sand on your first day?
Yes.
What an idiot.
But then in the same episode, he knows how to handle reporters.
Is it true you were recently committed to Birch Psychiatric Hospital and placed under the care of Dr. Paul Edmonds?
Yes, that's true. Coming back here, I don't know, even though everything was familiar, it felt so overwhelming. I felt out of control. Thankfully, Joy and Ward guided me to Dr. Paul Edmonds to get the help I needed. I couldn't have come back strong without them.
Then, he causes a crisis in the company because of another good deed. He does something savvy here too.
Danny's plan is...
The idiotic dream of a child.
Karen Page, the bulletin seemed to like it.
You already went to the press?
So I am bothered by his stupidity and savviness when the plot needs him to. He's like a plot device more than a character. The biggest mistake was to trust this guy who was pretending to be dead the entire time. He just buys it. He doesn't have suspicions until we get to the end of the series, which is the dumbest shit. He grows a little when he realizes that he's not supposed to kill people just because his master told him to. But that's not related to Rand, and that's what his mission boils down to find and bring to justice his parents' murderer. The plot point which was so obvious since episode 1, but it took Danny 12 episodes and Madame Gao telling him it was the issue for him to get it. But going down the mountain conflicts with his duties of being the Iron Fist.
Are you willing to kill Danny Rand so that the Iron Fist might live?
He chooses to do both, and gets neither. He defaults to Rand at the end, but that's not really a choice, which I'll get back to in a bit. He manages to defeat Bakuto. Actually, Colleen defeated Bakuto and Davos finished him off and removes him from the equation, but then maybe it doesn't because the body disappears at the end, and he resolves his family issues. So he's got two options: continue Rand or reassume his duties as the Fist. But he already failed the latter. All throughout this season, Davos and the Hand keep reminding him that he has failed. His mere presence means he has forsaken his duty.
Danny, the path will not remain open forever. If we miss it, it will be years before we can return. I didn't run. You were gone, Danny. There one moment and nothing. You failed us.
We both swore an oath of loyalty and protection.
Your masters are murderers.
Our paths diverge in a different place. But unlike you, I've remained true to my vow.
I'm here to stop the greatest threat to my people.
No, you're not. You're here to punish, not protect.
Danny did fail, because you could see it in the ending. He goes back to Kunlun and the way is closed. So he goes back to Rand, but that's just a hollow decision. He was never interested in it. He wasn't taking a
deeper dive.
Shut up, Zach!
It taught me the value of life, of hard work, of never giving up on the things that matter to me. And Rand matters.
You should come back to Rand. We can run the company together, the way our father should have.
I'm not really a good businessman.
Hey writers! Why not have him be both a martial artist and a businessman? It seems like he can do that. It's not like you have another hero in your roster that can juggle that sort of thing. So it leaves me with the feeling. Luke Cage has a better ending. And the bad guys won there. I wish Danny Rand was Asian.
Boo, you stink!
Not for the reasons you think. I want to see if these fucks would still hate on this show if Danny Rand was Asian. I think they'd ignore everything wrong about how the character was written.
Iron Fist's decided unwokenness is notable, particularly when Danny lectures Colleen, who is of East Asian descent, oh my god, on the right way to channel her internal force. 2 episodes later, he mansplains Kung Fu to her. Oh my god. All to better illustrate how she needs protection.
You do know that what she's doing isn't Kung Fu, right?
The time is now. Come down to Chikara Dojo and kickstart your new life. Stop getting bullied. Stop feeling afraid.
You do know that martial artists can use stuff from other schools of fighting to improve their own skill? The basis of UFC and MMA?
The idea that underprivileged young men and women are being preyed upon by a cabal of evil non-white people is deeply uncomfortable, and it's amazing that the writers didn't see the problem.
How about this? The idea that young men and women are being preyed upon by a cabal of evil people is deeply uncomfortable. It's okay if a white person does it, so we could hate on him. Is that what you're implying? But if it's non-white, oh no, that's wrong. I can think of no other reason Iron Fist would have been worse off for giving the part to an Asian actor. I also have no hope that it would have made this show comprehensible or exciting. Oh wow, I actually agree with this guy. Let's see the full oh, fuck. I don't know why they didn't pick this guy. This guy was actually in the running. From what I saw, it seems like he could actually fight. And it was Marvel's call not to choose him as Iron Fist. I really think they went for the fans this time. But I think it would have been interesting if he was, because I want to see their reactions.
Oh my god.
The show is actually carried more by the side characters rather than the boring main character. It's alright, you could watch it, but I don't recommend watching everything like 2 episodes per night. No, I think you could do this like once a week before Defenders comes around. That's it, guys. This took a while to make because it was really hard for me to decipher the flaw. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.